I'm Dr. Dave Purcell, and I'm going to show you a quick and very easy, efficient way to measure pH during an organic laboratory experiment. As you recall from your Principles of Chemistry course, you measured pH very precisely using a vernier electronic device coupled with a pH probe and recorded data on the computer. This was used as you did acid-base titrations. In the microscale organic lab, we're just much more interested in determining whether a solution is basic or whether it's acidic. Because as you recall from organic class, the solubility of organic compounds depends on whether or not a solution is aqueous or basic. All right, here are the equipment items we'll use today. The first three can be used interchangeably. I've got a glass pipette, can be used to draw up the liquid. I can use a glass stirring rod also to gather a drop of liquid, or I can use a glass capillary tube. We use pH paper, typically the universal paper that runs a range of pH 12 to pH 0. I've got a glass dish, often called a watch glass. And here is my solution to which I'm going to determine the pH. Now I've got my gloves off because in this process we need to tear our pH paper into several small pieces. So I've removed one piece of the universal pH paper, and I'm going to tear off little pieces of it, and I'm going to arrange them on the watch glass in a clock-like pattern. So in my lab notebook, I'll draw a sketch of this clock-like pattern, and then I can keep track of, at each stage of the experiment when I measure the pH, what the pH indicates at which particular step in the experiment. All right, so I've got my pH paper arranged on the watch glass. Now I'll put on my gloves. So let's imagine that we're at step one of our experiment and I need to determine the pH in order to know whether or not my material will be soluble or insoluble in the aqueous solution. So I just want to get a drop of the liquid, and I can do that using either the pipette, and as you can see I've got a green spot, and when I compare this to my universal indicator code, it looks like I've got a pH of about 8. I can also just use a glass stirring rod to pull up a drop and likewise spot the pH paper. Or I can use a microcapillary tube. So any of these techniques will work to enable you to spot your pH paper and determine the pH at a specific step in your experiment.